Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Fuck Bud Light and fuck Anheuser Busch. Have a terrific day.
Anheuser Busch has faced massive losses since their controversy in partnering with Dylan Mulvany. What they did was commit corporate suicide. As you can see here, they have lost $3 billion in market value. That is a pretty big deal. Their company is going downhill thanks to this goofy partnership. That's the best way I can put it. It's a goofy partnership. But what they've done is they've partnered with, as I said before, this Dylan Mulvaney guy. I'm sure most of you have heard of him by now. But what he does is he goes around putting on woman face, and he likes to act like a little girl prancing around. He's disgusting, degenerate, and really degrading towards women. This guy is a mockery. He is awful. And I don't think anybody actually likes him. Any lib that pretends like they like him are just putting on some fake persona so that they can get some more social credit points. But I refuse to believe anybody can look at Dylan Mulvaney and be like, "Oh, that's someone I can really inspire to be like. That's someone that I really want to support." This is a man who made a career out of putting on a dress and putting on high heels, going up into the forest, prancing around and singing songs like a Disney princess, but doing it while looking like an adult male. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I don't understand how anybody in our society can make money, make a living doing that. It really shows how degenerate and how fallen everything is, how it's so inverted. The moment where a man can put on woman face and start making a career out of it, you know your country's fricked. Your country is dead. And we're in some trouble if guys like this are the new face of America. But Bud Light decided, you know what, we're gonna go woke. We're gonna get this liberal support. So they threw his face on there, started using him in promotional material. And of course, your average Bud Light consumer is not a liberal. All right, most of them, I would have to imagine, I don't have anything to back this up, but just to guess, is probably a redneck. That's probably their go-to consumers, number one go-to. All right. So their normal political ideology, right? I don't think most rednecks are all that like they're not really that deep into politics, but most of them they like Trump, they don't like gay people, and they don't like trans people. They don't have that much more of a political ideology than that, but oh, they also don't like taxes. But what Bud Light did was they went after one of the three things that the average redneck doesn't like: trans people. Because it's so ridiculous. How could anybody with any cognitive thought like a trans person? They're just weird, right? They clearly have mental illness. I have nothing like personally against them. I don't hate them by any means. But the fact that we support this disgusting ideology is so sad. What we're doing is we're just supporting the destruction of the body, right? These people, they go in, they get these surgeries, they destroy their body, they put axe wounds into themselves, and then they go on hormones, and then they destroy their normal hormonal makeup, and then they end up getting really depressed, and then they end up, doing a thing that 40% of them attempt. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, transgenderism, it's not good, net negative for society, and rednecks don't like them because they don't make sense to them. So when you put Dylan Mulvaney, slap him on the cover of a Bud Light, no redneck's gonna buy that. They'll just switch to a different beer. It's not that hard. There's like 1,000 brands out there. But they're also not going to get any support from the liberals doing this. The liberals might be like, "Oh yeah, let's go Dylan Mulvaney. We love her so much." They call him her, of course, because they put on this persona like they actually believe this man is a woman. I'm sure they all know it's a man in the heart, but they won't admit it. But they're not going to look at that and be like, "You know what? I'm going to go buy that beer now." No, they're going to keep getting their fruity drinks. People that support Dylan Mulvaney, which I refuse to believe actually exist, but the people who pretend like they support Dylan Mulvaney, they're buying the fruity drinks. They're not buying Bud Light. So they've gained no customers by doing this. They haven't gotten any new buyers. but they've lost a crap ton, and that's why they've taken a $3 billion hit. That's a pretty big deal. Over what, a week? A week is how far we've come, and they've taken that big of a hit. It's a pretty big deal. And you can see people are actually stepping up and fighting back against this. I showed you that Kid Rock clip in the very beginning of this video. People think this is a joke. People think Dylan Mulvany is a joke, right? I mean, I've already made a few videos about him, I believe, maybe one or two. And I've talked about this woman face and how he just mocks women, but he seriously prances around like he's a 3-year-old girl. And honestly, some of his videos are like kind of pedophilic. It's just gross. He has videos where he pretends like he's like a 6-year-old girl. It's so disgusting. Everything about this guy just like it makes me feel gross inside. Just looking at him right here, like, ugh. This woman face is so weird. I would genuinely argue woman face is worse than blackface, right? Blackface is bad and all, but like this? Come on. This is really bad. This is like a full-on mockery. And he's made a living out of this. 2023, the most progressive age in all of history, we have gone back to mocking minorities, I guess. Are women minorities? I don't know. The left likes to pretend like they are, but I'm pretty sure the majority of the Western population is women, so they're the majority, but now we're mocking them. So it's just gross. We need to support women more. We need to tell them that they actually like belong in society and they don't have to like put on this weird show. It's the same thing with like drag queens. They're just mocking women too, and it's like this really over the top, like disgusting, overly sexualized version of women too, and it convinces women that's how they should act. It's just gross, everything about it. We need to bring back traditional women, bring back housewives because they're epic, they are one of the most important roles in society. The stay-at-home mother is the building block of society, right? We need them to raise the kids so that they don't get raised through the public education system, because without stay-at-home mothers, you have kids who are raised by the government, and that is super gay, and that is super cringe, and we don't want that. So we need to recognize how important stay-at-home mothers are, and we need to call out this obvious mockery of women. And we got to fight for them a little bit, right? I know a lot of the red pillars, right? Like the guys in the main like manosphere or whatever it's called, they like to degenerate women a little bit. They like to look at them just as sexual objects they sleep around, and that's just not good for society. Like I like a lot of the stuff that like guys like Andrew Tate say, for example. I like the stuff he says about men, right? He makes men stronger, he makes them more masculine. But he also degrades women. His idea of trying to sleep around with all the girls, it's making them less feminine. He's the reason that women are less feminine. It's men like him. Like nobody's gonna want to settle down and marry someone that's slept around a bunch. That's just dumb because obviously one of the number one indicators for a future divorce is how many partners a woman had beforehand. It's no good, right? So we need to go back to preaching purity. Go back to preaching all the stuff we were in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s. What a great time to be alive that would have been, right? I refuse to believe that the country was as bad as they claim it was, because when you go back and look at the movies and art and stuff, right? Anybody who, like, put a hand on a woman was looked down upon incredibly. They were shamed and they were made out to be the villain in every film from back then. Any piece of art. And, well, I'm talking about, I guess, more of like the 50s, I guess, because there wasn't a lot from like the 20s and 30s, obviously. But like, it was a big shame to hurt women, rightfully so. Hurting women is messed up. But you know what? I'm getting a little off track. We're talking about Bud Light here. I'll make another video talking about how the 30s probably weren't nearly as bad as the liberals like to tell us. But look, go woke, go broke. It's paying off again. We saw it with what was it? That movie that came out, Lightyear or whatever. Frick. Oh man, I can't remember his name. Okay, well, that's alright. That To Infinity and Beyond guy. Man, it's been a while since I've watched Disney. Gotta go watch Toy Story again or something, because that movie was actually kind of epic, the first one, but the new one is liberal, and it lost a bunch of money. Shocker. But now it's going to Anheuser Busch as well. So, yeah, that's a video for you. So, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, share the video. I greatly appreciate it. But I'm going to sign off on that note. So long, peace out, and God bless y'all.